Hey foodies, welcome back to Ninalicious Foods. So today we'll be making agege bread. This bread is really soft and a lot of people love this bread, especially with ewa going. You can also have it with butter. You can also have it with akara, you get. So we're going to get right into making this stretchy, soft and delicious bread. First of all, you get a clean bowl. You add some warm water, 1 cup of warm water. Then you add your dry yeast and you also add some sugar. You know, yeast does so well with sugar. So you add your sugar and you mix it thoroughly. So this combination, we're going to allow it to proof. So what we'll do is we're going to cover it with a dry cloth and we'll set it aside for 10 minutes. You get a mixing bowl next and you add 3 cups of flour. You can use all-purpose flour, you can use bread flour, whichever is your preference will work perfectly for this bread. So after adding your flour, you add your nutmeg, you add some salt, you add some sugar. The good thing with this is you can use brown sugar, you can use white sugar, whatever is your preference. Usually what I do, I usually add some brown sugar and top that up with 1/2 cup of white sugar as well. I'm a sugar fan. Yes, I just love sugar. I love my bread really sweet. So if you're a sweet tooth like me, you can add more sugar. It's totally fine. So now you're going to add your butter. You can use salted or unsalted butter. It depends on what you like, but I would really advise that if you're using salted butter, don't add so much of salt so you don't get a really salty bread. So you're going to mix the batter thoroughly just to make sure that the flour mix combines thoroughly with the butter. Just roughly, it doesn't have to be smooth. Just see the way I'm doing it here. Just copy me and do it the same way. You know our yeast has been proofing for 10 minutes, so we are going to add it right now. And what I tend to do is I add my yeast combination or water. I add it little by little. Why I do this is because I don't want to end up getting a really runny dough. I want my dough to not be firm, but I want it not to be watery or runny. So I just add a little of the yeast water and I turn it bit by bit to ensure that the loose flour combines with the water. So just do that, and if you require water, just add a little of the yeast water. Don't add so much, just little by little. Okay. Hey guys, if you're enjoying the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you. So guys, you combine this thoroughly to form a dough, and this dough I'll show you what it should look like. You see the screen here, it should look something like this. But from experience, I also, before kneading or whilst kneading, I added a little bit of flour because I noticed that my dough was a bit runny. So I'll show you what I mean by my dough was a bit runny. So as you can see, I'm using a stand mixer to mix. You can also use your hands to knead the dough, but it's a lot of work, so I had to get a stand mixer. So anyway, the stand mixer will mix the dough, and whilst mixing it tends to get softer and smoother. As you can see here, my dough looks a little bit runny. So this was the point where I added a bit of flour and it got to this consistency, and this is the consistency you should be aiming for. You see it's not runny anymore, and you see how it's, it's stretchy and it's also not too thick. So when you're done kneading, if you want to know if you got it right, stretch out your dough, and you see how I'm stretching it out here. It would stretch out, it won't break or anything. So once your dough can stretch, it's ready. Then you grease your pan with butter. You grease your pan with butter and also line it with a baking paper. I didn't show a video of when I was lining it, but I actually lined this with a baking paper. So right now guys, I'm stretching out my dough and I'm actually making 2 breads. So I'm making a small one and a big one. So I'm going to cut the dough into 2. The bigger one is for the big bread and the smaller dough is for the small bread. So I'm going to set the small one aside and I'm going to stretch out the big dough. Now I've stretched it out properly and I'm going to roll it this way and also put it in my baking pan. I'll cover the pan and leave it to rise for 2 hours. So what I did earlier, I'm going to repeat the process. I'll stretch out the dough, I'll roll it, put it in the baking pan, cover it, and also let it sit for 2 hours to rise properly. So personally, what I do is I usually leave my dough in the oven to rise for 2 hours. I'm not talking about a preheated oven, no. I'm talking about an oven that has not been on. So the oven is just normal temperature. After 2 hours, this is what it should look like. Once it's risen, it should double in size. And after 45 minutes of baking, this is exactly how your bread should be. So guys, this is the finished bread. Trust me, this bread was so stretchy, delicious, soft. Guys, this bread will go so well with ewa going, akara, even beans. What are you saying? Anything. Thanks guys for watching. Subscribe.